Namaste, everyone. Welcome to your yoga class this morning. Thank you for joining me. Let's make today's practice a practice of gratitude. Just for a moment, letting ourselves focus on what we can be grateful for. Food, shelter, all of the things that come into your mind for a moment. Just taking a moment to be grateful and naming those things for which we are grateful. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Finding your seat comfortable. Out of a stable base, let the spine rise up. And again, turning our thoughts to gratitude. Grateful for yoga, for the practices, for this roadmap that we have. Grateful for each other, joining, meeting in this Akash, in this cyberspace, sharing with each other. Grateful for all the simple things that we have in our life. And then finding an intention for today's practice. What do you need from today's practice? Acknowledge that and repeat it to yourself 3 times, your sankalpa, your intention. And then thinking of someone or something to which to offer up your practice today. An offering, a gratitude offering, something or someone that needs a little more energy. It can be a work that you're doing. And then letting those thoughts just slip down from your mind into your heart space to be brought back at the end of class. I'll chant 1 Om, acknowledging the creation, the sound of creation, continuing throughout infinity. Join me if you can, exhaling the breath all the way out, and a nice inhale to chant. And then just letting your hands slide down to your legs for a moment. Good. And just a few circles, 3 circles in either direction, just rotating around your pelvic basket. When you get to the front, go back in the other direction. Good. And then let's go ahead and go to our knees this morning. I want to work a little bit on back health, back bending, back safety. So just moving things out of the way for a moment. And establishing your table pose. I've showed you I have this little garden sponge that I can put underneath my knees. You might want to just fold up your blanket or your mat for a moment, but get nice and stable. Wrist under your shoulders. Feet can be flat on the floor, but when I have this little tiny lift, I need to curl my toes under to have more traction. So wherever you find your stable table, keep the shoulders pressing away, broad between the scapula, between the shoulder blades, and gazing down at the floor. Good. So finding your extension and flexion all along the spine. Moving in both directions, coordinate your breath with your movement. Take it nice and easy. Good. And then come into neutral. And then we're going to go down to the floor. So walk your knees back, find a comfortable spot, and come on down to the floor. Good. Be where you can stretch your toes all the way out. And your elbows are right underneath your shoulders in Sphinx Pose. I'm going to come to a frontal view just in a moment so that we can do the first thing together. But shoulders are right over your elbow creases, and your hands are right in front. So your wrist and your elbow creases are parallel. So really lift your belly away from the floor. Try to get your belly button away from the floor. Good. And press into your forearms, gaze forward, and then take your gaze up through your eyebrows, just gazing up. Press your hands firmly into the floor, keep lifting the belly off the floor. That's maybe an isometric exercise. Your belly may be too big to lift off the floor, but pull the belly up. Breathing. Now ask yourself, are your glutes, is your bottom tight? And if so, for a moment, relax it and walk your feet a little bit away from each other, out to the side. Point your toes, and now relax your glutes for a moment. Relax the bottom. Continue to press into the forearms, looking up, breathing. Pubic bone to the belly button is engaged. And then let's walk our feet back. Just take them back behind you. Point the toes, put the tops of the feet flat on the floor, heels toward the ceiling, heels not toward each other nor out to the side, toward the ceiling. Push into the tops of the feet, the knees will lift, the thighs will engage, belly stays engaged. And then I want us to go into these curious sphinx for a moment. So we're going to look out over the right shoulder. Come back. See if you can see your heel when you go around. Other side. Come back. Keep lifting the belly button. Other side. Come back. And the other side. And back into neutral. Good. So continuing to press into your forearms for a moment. And then wing your elbows out to the side and begin to lie yourself down one set of ribs at a time until you're on your forehead or chin. Make a little pillow with your hands. Relax your legs and feet and let your heels rock out to either side. And then begin to gaze forward for a moment. Now we're going to take our hands and sweep them down beside us. So hands are down beside us, arms are beside us. You can gaze to one side for a moment. And then I'm going to put my forehead to the floor so you can watch this first move. My forehead is going to go to the floor, and my hands have heavy bowling balls in them, so the hands are not going to move. I'm going to peel off forehead, chest, and chin. Belly reaching in, and exhale, lower. So do that with me. Forehead to the floor or chin. Exhale the breath, root down to the tops of the feet. Let the knees lift. Lift the belly button. And on your next inhale, peeling off forehead and chin and chest. And exhale, release. Keep the hands heavy. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Take your gaze to one side, relax your shoulders, relax your heels out to the side. Breathe. And then re-engage your body. Tops of the feet back into the floor, forehead or chin to touch. Hands are heavy. Lifting your left leg just a little. Lower it. Lift your right leg just a little. Lower it. One more time, left. Lower. One more time, right. Lower. Keep everything engaged, pull the belly button in, and then lift both feet back as if you could scrape your toenails on the wall behind you. Heels are reaching to the ceiling, not toward each other, nor away from each other. Right toward the ceiling. Forehead or chin is on the floor. And lower the legs, relax the body. Take your head to the other side. Soften everywhere you can possibly soften. And then let's re-engage slowly. Tops of the feet onto the floor. Thighs are engaged, knees will lift. Forehead or chin to touch. And this time we're going to lift simultaneously. We're going to lift our forehead, chin, chest, legs. Reach back with the legs, not up. And exhale, lower. Let the breath move you. Inhale, ride your breath up. Exhale, ride your breath down. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lift the shoulders, lift the feet, lift the head, lift, lift, lift. Exhale. Rest your head to the other side. Breathe. Good. And then bringing your forehead or chin to touch. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Glue your elbows down close to your ribs. Forehead or chin toward the floor. And then begin to push up a little bit into your hands. You can still raise your hand. So you're in this little tiny, tiny cobra. Little tiny snake. So curious snake now. Reaching out your right hand, look back over your left shoulder. Come back, re-engage your belly. Inhale. Exhale, let's reach out the arm, look over the shoulder on an exhale, belly to spine. Inhale while you're there. And exhale. Bring the arm back, coming back. Again, reach out, right arm, look over the left, belly to spine. Return. And again, reach out, look over the right, belly to spine, and return. Take your arms back behind you, relax again completely. And then bringing your forehead or chin to touch, engaging your feet, so curling the toes under, engaging the feet. Press your knees down firmly, lift your belly up firmly, take your hands underneath your shoulders, and begin to press the floor away, coming back into your knees, coming right back into your table pose. Find your stable table, keep it nice and stable. And then take two cat poses, both inhaling and exhaling. You can decide where the breath serves you most on which movement. Good. And then coming into neutral. So with your table, we're going to move into mountain pose. So if you have glaucoma or lots of high blood pressure in the eyes, or if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, these inversions, mountain pose or downward facing dog, depending upon your teacher, my teacher is mountain, that pose is half inversion. So be very careful. Some of you might know your limit and you can visit it slowly and come out of it. But we're going to curl the toes under fully. And you can do this from right here in table. The rest of you can stay right here in table. Anyone with eye pressure problems, okay? Shift the knees off. The rest of us who are going up and come into mountain, often called downward facing dog. Getting yourself nice and open. Mountain, not hill pose. So roll your heels down toward the floor. Mine never will touch in a lifetime. And that's fine. But I still have the extension I need in my legs, and I don't have my knees locked out because I'm a hyperextender and would love to lock out my knees and throw them back. No. Good. So we're going to lift the right leg. And if you're on the floor, you're going to lift the right leg. So wherever you are, the right leg is in a Tadasana with the rest of your body. The right leg is in Tadasana. You're either up or on the knee. Reach through the heel. And then gaze forward between your hands, kind of bring yourself over into plank. Just release the toe. And so if you're on your knee, just release the toe. And then take that right heel and press it up. Hold it and pull it up. So from either place, from table or mountain. And then bringing our hands to right above the knee. Press away. Keep the knee over the ankle. And then let's take our arms up overhead. But as we get here, think about showing your sternum to the ceiling. Arms rising up. And then bringing the hands into the heart. Good. Lean forward. Place your forearms above that knee. And for just a moment, press up. Long line of energy. Long line of energy. Press. Press into the back heel. This is for all of us. Lower to the knee. Release your hands. Come back to your table or mountain. Breathing. Table is perfectly fine place to be. And then slowly with your left foot, drawing it up, toes are going to be facing the floor. You want a Tadasana line. You want to find a Tadasana over your right leg. If you're on your knees, it looks like this. If you're on your knee, it looks like this. So wherever you are, begin to gaze forward at the space between the hands, shifting yourself over if you're up. Good. Release to the knee, and then drawing the left foot up. So any of those ways that you found to get your left foot up, it's perfect. Let's bring our hands to above the left knee. Good. Press in, be up, upright. And then we're going to add that little bit of a back bend. Here I have my lumbar curve, and I'm going to just show my sternum toward the ceiling as I lift my arms up overhead. And then taking out some of that upper back bend, placing both forearms above the knee. That takes you leaning forward a little, no back bending. And then lift up and press through the back right heel. Really pressing through the heel. Good. And then lower the knee, release, come back, and either in your table for a cat pose or in mountain for a mountain to plank 3 times, either 3 cats or 3 mountain to plank. Either one. Perfect. If you're in your kneeling, you're doing cat. And then finding neutral, again, either in your table or in your mountain. And again, lifting the right leg up, find your Tadasana leg. Shift some weight back into your left heel. Your leg is lifted parallel to the floor if you're in table. And then either way, you're going to take your right foot and put it right where your right hand was. Again, hands to right above the knee, pressing up. Good. Reaching up, adding that little bit of a back bend in our sternum and our upper thoracic spine. Good. And then bringing the hands down to the floor. If you have a block here or would like to use a block, that's fine. We're just going to straighten the leg a little bit and bend the knee. The weight stays in the arm girdle, hand, the horseshoe that you've created. Hand, shoulder, hand, arms, everything is upper body holding the weight. Not dumping it into your knee. One more. And then come into neutral, stack the knee right over the ankle. And then reach back and up into mountain if you're there. Be stable wherever you are, stable. Belly to spine. And then lifting the left leg. You may be down on your right knee, you may be up in mountain. Wherever you are is perfect. Then beginning to look at the space between your hands. You're going to take your left foot over by your left hand. Drop to your right knee. Press up, hands above the left knee. Come up. Lots of space here. Lots of space. And then add the thoracic back bend. Bringing the hands back down into the heart. Good. Reaching forward. Take out the back bend for a moment. Just take it out. Good. And then put both hands on the floor. And again, pressing back and forward. Keep the weight in your hand, arm, shoulder, arm, hand, horseshoe. Pressing back and forth and back and forth. Good. And then come back, get yourself nice and stacked up, knee over ankle. Come off your back knee, step to plank. And all of us being plank for a breath or two, you can drop to your knees as soon as you need to, but press through the heels. Breathe, 5 breaths. Come down as soon as you need to, but don't collapse. Come down with control. Come down now or come down later. And 5th breath, drop to the knees. Good. Press your hips back to your heels. Keep the toes curled under. For those of you with any eye issues, eye pressure, gaze forward. The rest of you can drop your forearms and rest on the floor. And then on your next inhale, begin to gaze out past your forearms. Look out on your mat. Put your hands down. Bring yourself back up. Just come up onto your foot, other foot, wiggle your bottom. Bring your elbows above your knees. Look out in front. And then come all the way up. Good. Hands to the heart. Excellent. We're going to build on that movement that we got in that thoracic back bend for just a moment. And this pose has quite a bit of balance in it. And I don't want to slide, and I don't want you to slide. So if you also have your mat to the side, put the short end facing me for a moment. And go to the back of your mat. Good, so situated firmly at the back of your mat. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, left leg forward. And then back. Inhale back. Exhale, left leg forward. Think about it. Inhale back. Exhale, left leg forward. Each time we kind of go and decide how far we can really go and still get back gracefully. Good. And then here you're going to add that thoracic back bend by taking your hands and arms back behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze the knuckles and begin to show your sternum. Gaze toward the ceiling. Then release the arms and let them come up overhead. Take a nice inhale. Bring your gaze back to the front and exhale back. Good. Same thing on the other side. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, right leg forward. Inhale back. Exhale, right leg forward. Inhale back. Exhale, right leg forward. Inhale back. And right leg forward and we'll stay. Good. So find that spot. Back heel is up, all the way up. This is flag pose. Back heel is up. Shavasana. Good. And then sweep the arms back. Front knee is over your ankle, not beyond. And then squeeze the shoulder blades and the hands and the arms down toward the floor. Begin to show your sternum toward the ceiling, looking up. And then release the arms. And then gently walk the arms up. Good. Take an inhale, bring your gaze back, and then exhale all the way back. Close your eyes, 6 or 8 breaths. Pay attention to the body, the breath, the mind. Your pelvic floor can be soft, your belly soft, shoulders soft, jaw soft. Good, and then inhale and letting the eyes flutter open. Good, just checking in with your body. How are you feeling? We're going to go down to the floor in a squat. If you have a block or a book or something handy, you may want to sit on it. We're going to take our feet and our knees out to the side. They're headed in the same direction, feet and knees. And then we're going to come down slowly. So you may need them a little bit wider. You also may want to be up on the ball of the foot. That's fine. Wherever it feels comfortable. And if you'd like to take your block, you can put it underneath you and sit right on it. Good. We're going to do a twist here. And it's going to prepare us for a seated twist we're going to do in a moment. So for just a moment. Bottom heavy, groin heavy, legs heavy, everything heavy. Just let gravity do its thing. And then on your next inhale, twisting out to the left and bringing the hands back into the heart. Twisting out to the right, bringing the hands back into the heart. Twisting to the left, and you might want to try a bind here. So hitchhiking fingers reaching up toward the ceiling, and then dive the fingers forward and down, getting a lot of internal rotation, and just see if you have anything to hold on to around your right leg. Just check. Take your gaze out to the left. Keep your head as an extension of your spine. Don't collapse in your neck. And on your next exhale, just release. Good. And then let's inhale and open out to the right side. Open heart, shoulders, chest, everything to the right. If you want to bind, get your hitchhiking fingers ready. Dive them toward me and then down and then back. And you might have something around your left leg. Just check. Don't let your head drop or droop. Lift it and set it on the top of the spine. And on your next exhale, release. Good. And then we'll help yourself down. Help yourself down. Good. Extend out both feet, Dandasana, staff pose. Just extending them out. Good. Breathing. So feet are active, legs are active. Great. And then gently bending up. Let's start with your left leg. Gently bending up your left leg. Just a little. Good. This time we're going to take our twist out to the right side. Okay? We're going to twist to the right and exhale back. Inhale, twist to the right. You can use your elbow inside your knee. Exhale, return. Use the inhale so you have something against which to resist. To the right and return. One last time. Twist to the right. Good. Flex your foot. And then just see about taking your left hand down and around your left leg. Just check. And you might have your right hand back behind you to hold on to back there. Just check. Keep your chin over your sternum, pressing through the left leg, right leg along the floor. Left leg also, very active. And then go ahead and take your chin all the way out over your right shoulder. On your next inhale, arc your chin over your left shoulder. Good. And on your next exhale, release. Just sit with it for a moment. Notice how it feels in the ribs. Notice how it feels in your trunk. And then extend out the left leg. Press through the heels evenly, both heels firmly on the floor. No hyperextension in the knees. And then bending, flexing, drawing up. Good. So your right leg is bent and you're nice and firm and solid there. So exhale, drive energy down. Inhale, twist over to the left. Exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, let's come back to neutral one more time. And then inhale, stay, twist. Use your back arm behind you to press into the floor. Keep your spine upright. Both feet and legs are active. Good. Breathing. And then you can unbend your elbow of your right arm and reach it a little bit around your right leg if you'd like. And you might sweep the other arm back, and you may have something to hold on to back there. But don't pull your knee too far out to the side. Chin is over the sternum. And then on your next inhale, take your chin out over your left shoulder. On your next inhale, arc your chin over your right shoulder. And then on your next exhale, let's release the pose. Good. Just a little bit of movement to the other side and back into Dandasana. Sitting nice and firm. Feet are active, legs are active. Dominant hand on top, the hand that you write with, put it on top, that thumb's touching gently, and rest your hands in your lap. Push into your sit bones and lift. And then relax the legs completely. Reach in, grab your quads, give them a little bit of a massage. Other leg. Just reaching in, giving them a little massage. They did a lot of work for you today. Good. And then we're going to go up into reverse table for a moment. Okay? So bending your knees, putting your feet firmly on the floor, not too close, because when you lift up, you want your knees to go over your ankles and not beyond. Okay? Putting your hands back behind you. I like my fingers to face forward. Depends what's going to be most comfortable for your wrist. They can be out a little bit, knees to side. You can be the other way. You have nice, strong wrists. So take an inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest. And as you exhale, come up. Nabhi Darshan, looking at your belly button, just gazing at your belly button. So not letting your neck go. Press into the floor with your hands. Lift your belly. And then slowly begin to lower your bottom to the floor. Good. And then just cross your legs for a minute, comfortable seat to do some wrist circles. Good. So we're going to lie down for a moment and we're going to do a twist. And I want you to see this twist. I'm going to do it for you briefly. So when we're here, I'm going to lift my hips, shift them over to the side. I'll remind you. Draw my knees in and my shins away, and then roll to the side. And I want to make sure that I'm not taking the twist in my low back, just where I have ribs. And if my elbow and arm is off the floor, I'm just going to relax my hand and let my arm release. And then my toe will find its way down, straighten me out, and then go to the other side. Okay? So let's get ready. Lying down. Bend the knees. Put the feet firmly on the floor. Lift your hips off the floor. Shift them over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. Set them down. Draw your knees in a little bit, just even with your hips. Take your shins away. Make a right angle with your legs. And then slowly drop your knees over to the left. Put your back hand on your sacrum and make sure that that is safe and your twist is in your ribs. Bend your elbows. Don't let your arms be hanging in space. Breathe. And then your right toe making its way down to the ground. Let that start to lift you back up. Bring the other foot with it. Shake your bottom out. Set it down. Good. And then lift the hips. Shift them over to the left. Set them down. Draw your knees in. Make a right angle with your shins. And then drop your legs over to the other side. Put your back hand on your sacrum. Make sure I have my right hand on my sternum. Making sure that my twist is coming from my chest area. Just gazing at the ceiling or even over to the knee side, but a long neck. Pull your chin away, don't tuck in. Good, and then slowly letting your left toe find the floor, then your right toes, shift yourself, shake yourself out, and release. So we're going to get ready for an inversion, which is really important, and it'll just be a minute or two. If you have glaucoma or any eye pressure problems, this is your pose. Bottom is flat on the floor, legs are up the wall. This is also good if you're on your menstrual cycle. Otherwise, we're not inverted. Okay? So if you would like to invert the rest of the way, this is the time for your shoulder stand, your headstand, your handstand, anything that you normally do, another mountain pose, downward facing dog, anything that will help you. But if you're going to do viparita and you have your feet close to a wall, take advantage of that. Lift your hips, put your block under, and settle in. Breathe. Don't turn your neck. Gaze up at your feet. Do not turn your neck. And then slowly and gently letting your knees drop down towards your chest. And then one leg at a time, finding its way to the floor. Or to the wall, if you have a wall there. Wherever you can place your feet firmly, lift off the block, and then lower your bottom to the floor. Keep your lumbar curve. Reach out. And then slowly wiggling and finding your way into Shavasana, corpse pose. Allowing your body to relax. Babaji says this is the hardest of all the poses. Some of us want to just go ahead and start our day. Stop that. Surrender. Practice surrender. Surrender the body to gravity. Surrender your breath to the universe. Surrender your mind to our cosmic intellect. Practicing letting go. The dogs and the birds in the background. Just let them fade into your Shavasana. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath without changing it. Just find it, belly or chest. Letting it deepen just a little bit. Letting your eyes roll in the sockets in one direction, then the other. The tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth, swishing it along the front of the teeth. Bringing the ears online as you yawn broadly, crackling, popping the ears, wriggling the nose. Beginning to swim the fingers and twinkle the toes, all 5 senses coming back online. And then slowly beginning to bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Maybe consider a nice big overhead stretch. And then shift your hips up off the floor, shift them away from me, set them down, and then drop your knees over toward me, roll the shoulders over toward me. Curl up in a little ball, Garabdasana, embryo pose, all safe and secure. And then with your upper arm, put the hand on the floor, press it away, begin to shift and spiral up. Let your head be the last thing that comes up and sits right on top of your spine. Good. So yesterday, our pranayama practice, pratiloma, we're going to repeat that again today. Because for those of you who weren't with us, it's a little bit of resistance breathing. And today we're going to add a very brief hold at the end. So how we do it is with our right hand in Vishnu Mudra, tucking in the index finger and the middle finger, getting your thumb ready for your right nostril, your ring finger ready for your left nostril. Did I say index and middle finger? So your ring finger's on your left nostril, your thumb's on your right nostril. Just get those there. Let your elbow and shoulder be soft. So you just are barely touching them. So the breath is an exhale. And then as you inhale, you're going to press into your nostrils a little bit and inhale with that resistance. Resist with the pressure. Pause, release your fingers, and exhale the breath out. So no pressure on the exhale, a little pressure to create resistance on the inhale. 10 times makes 1 round. We're going to do 2 rounds. And at the end of those 10 breaths, When you exhale the breath out, you're going to hold it out for 5 seconds. And then you'll start again with round 2. I'll count the first round. I will not count the second round. Okay? So nice tall spine. Fingers are ready. Exhale the breath all the way out. Hold the nostrils. Resist. 1. Inhale. Top of the inhale, pause. Release. Exhale. Close them. Inhale. Pause. Release. Exhale. Pause. Close them a little. Inhale. Pause. Release. Exhale. Pause. Pressure. Inhale. Pause. Release. Exhale. Pause. Release. Press. Inhale. Pause. Release. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pressure. Pause. Release. Exhale. Pause. Release. Pause. Press. Inhale. Sorry. Release. Exhale. Press. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. And at the bottom of this exhale, holding the breath out for a count of 5. And as you're ready, press and inhale. 10 breaths to make 1 round. A little bit of pressure, create resistance for your inhale. Release the fingers completely for your exhale. Send the breath to the whole circumference of the lungs, front, back, side, side. Resist and pull in the breath. And after you've completed your 10th breath, hold the breath out for 5 seconds. And then find your natural breath. Just sitting for a moment with the practice, noticing body, breath, mind. We're going to move into our meditation, and our meditation this morning is gratitude. Maybe remembering what you were grateful for at the beginning. But each time I ring the bowl, you're going to let something you're grateful for come into your mind, and ponder its beginning, its present, and its end. If it's food, I may be grateful for the grocer, for the person who grew the carrots, the onions. I may be grateful for the seeds. Then when I think to the end, I may be grateful for the garden and the compost that it feeds once it's gone. So the present, the beginning, and the end. Being grateful. Object 1. Object 2. Present, beginning, end. Object 3. Object 4. Present, beginning, and end. Bringing our meditation to a close. Bringing your hands into the heart. Anjali Mudra. Any merit we may have earned this morning, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Grabbing your offering, grabbing your intention, repeating it 3 times. And then grabbing your meditation, your gratefulness completely. Letting all of those thoughts slip out of your mind, down into your heart space, and symbolically out of your heart space into the palms of your hands. And then lift them up, surrender them to the universe, letting go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Great. Thank you this morning for joining me. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to see you all. So glad that you came. How was that meditation for you, the being grateful? Did that work for you? Could you find that gratefulness in the beginning and the end? And just imagining how many people are in that chain of gratefulness that we have. Good, good. Yes, this is a practice that's in the Yoga Sutras. It's a very advanced practice, but I find it can be done easily for beginners. And yesterday, my friend who lives here and teaches children did it with a little kid, and it worked really well. Sometimes if we don't put up the barriers to what's possible to remembering the beginning and how it might end up, it can be very liberating for us to know that it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. Everything is just a cycle. You can unmute yourself. You can chat by pressing the chat bar.
Ginger?
Yeah.
I have a question about the meditation.
Yes,
So
Jean.
if we took, for example, hello, if we had, for example, that you're grateful for your garden, I don't understand the end part for anything that you would be grateful for.
Maybe
like I don't understand.
At the fall, what's going to happen in the fall when the frost comes and there's no longer a garden?
Oh, so it really kind of, I was grateful for my husband, but I didn't really get what I was supposed to do about the end.
Well, because you weren't being grateful for him, you said you were being grateful for the garden. So the garden would be
Right.
like the beginning would
Right.
be the seeds, and then
Okay.
whatever state it's in, and then it's going to demise. It's going to fall. It's all going to go. It's helping us understand that everything has a cycle. Every single thing has a cycle.
Okay.
And we want it. That's why Ram Dass and all the scriptures say, "Be here now," right? Because everything that's in the past, it's not real anymore. We're just here, and everything that is in the present hasn't yet happened because we're in that space-time continuum, and that's where we are. Let me see. I have a couple of questions. Oh, good. Someone said it was fun practicing Spanish. So for those of you who don't know, Tuesdays are in Spanish, and it was fun having a few people join. I had someone yesterday, an old friend and student, wrote and said she followed my whole class and it was lovely, but she hadn't realized that I was teaching daily in Spanish. And I told her that today was not in Spanish, only yesterday. So Tuesdays will be in Spanish, and for some of you that'll be really good to kind of learn a few body parts in Spanish.
Ginger?
Yes. Hi, Patty.
Hi. Thank you for the meditation. It took me to the present. It took me to, understandably, to thinking of pictures of me, of a baby, and then to the end, and very lovely to take me there. That's a lovely meditation. Yesterday, I thought it was something wrong with my view or my audio that I needed to do a button to say English. So when I finally decided that I don't think she pushed a button, I just went with it. And so necesito practicar mi español. So es muy bien. Muy bien.
Great.
Gracias.
No hay de qué. Yeah, I figured a lot of people, it might be fun to just do a class in a different language because you can follow what I'm doing, and that's how it feels for a lot of my students, right, Juan Carlos? Like some days you just don't know exactly what I'm saying, so you try to follow me because I've used a really weird word in either language, you know. How about that breath practice? That was Dr. Douillard who had it in yesterday's newsletter. And I thought for those of us who are working with keeping our respiratory system really healthy, that little bit of resistance as we pull in the inhale, allowing us to really spread the diaphragm and feel it going front to back and side to side, and that whole circumference of our rib cage where the diaphragm connects. I think that's a very powerful practice to share with people to help them really strengthen their respiratory system. You know how people that have had a respiratory problem, they send them home with that little tube thing and you have to blow that ball up in it, right? It's the same sort of principle of like really having to press with resistance. So I think it's a great exercise. Yeah. Any other questions? Yesterday it was so cute. We had a practice and Soma, my yoga sister, you know, said, well, we can tell you have on bifocals because every time you have to read the chat, you go like that. And that's true. Every time I read the chat, I have to go like that. Okay, good. People are just saying thank you for teaching in Spanish. It was fun to have some Spanish words again. So it's April 1st, April Fool's Day. I should have done something silly. I didn't even think about it. What is the name of the breath practice? The breath practice is called Pratiloma. 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 And for those of you who don't know Dr. John Douillard, he is an Ayurvedic practitioner, a yogi. He is in Colorado, and he has a free newsletter that goes out frequently. And it's John and Douillard, Douillard, John Douillard. And you can sign up on his website for his free newsletter, and it's always packed full with some really fun stuff. He works with my friend Larissa Carlson. They do some yoga practices together, and Larissa's a wonderful teacher. But John, I like his newsletter a lot, so you might want to sign up for that because it's always got some really good tips on food and season and cleansing practices. Yeah, don't do everything it says there, right? We sometimes get really excited about Ayurveda and we think, oh, everybody should do blah blah blah. But there's some things that everybody shouldn't do. Everybody shouldn't fast. Everybody shouldn't do a certain kind of cleanse. Everybody shouldn't do a mono diet. Everybody shouldn't. Everybody should do what's right for them and their dosha and their age and the season and the time of life and how much stress they have on their life. And so be sure that if you decide to do some of those practices, you do them carefully and with someone who can help you out. I have a lot of people who are in internships and externships. Internships are when we do them at Mount Madonna. Externships is when we used to do them with you in person, but since that's not going to be possible for a few more months, I see several people on the screen now that are students of mine that are practitioners. I see right now one amazing practitioner, Jen Rand, and I'm sure she'd be glad to take on some Ayurveda consultations. She's then supervised by a lot of different people, as is Susan Lilly, who's also on the screen. She's an Ayurvedic yoga therapist. So she works with people with any kind of yoga as well as Ayurveda. So both things. And Jen also has quite a bit of yoga. She did her YTT 200 with me. There she is. Raise your hand, Jen. Let people see. Say hi. And Nayana, can you raise your hand, sweetheart? Can you put on your screen for a minute so people can see you? Maybe she walked away from her screen, but it's Nayana Susan Lilly who is in Visalia. So if you want, you can always email me. Just remember, it's ginger@casasanjuan.com.gt and ask me for their information, and I'll be glad to give it. The externships, if they do, it's one 90-minute intake and then 2 one-hour follow-ups. And there is a cost, and I'm not sure, I don't really remember, but because they pay their supervisor, and it is supervised by a practitioner who's been practicing for a long time. Me, I'm probably the youngest one on the block. Well, Sumati is the youngest one on the block, but I've been practicing for 11 years now, and Sumati for about 8. So, but we have Ambika couple who's been practicing for 40 years, 30 years at least, right? And Rucha Kelkar and Manas Kirshagar. And so we have some really good people supervising. So you get not only them, it's like when you go to a school, you know, and you get the student, and then you get their teacher, and then you get the student, and you get their teacher. So you get really a thorough experience. And they spend a lot more time with you than most people could normally afford to spend with someone. So just write me if you want to consult. Another Pratibha that's on here is also a Ayurvedic Ma. She helps us with supervision, usually with the youngers because she loves teaching with them. And but she usually helps with the Ayurvedic health counselor. Yeah. Okay, well, it's almost time. So I'm it's April Fools, and somebody wrote today and said, are you not doing them in April? I realized you said you do it through the month. No, because nothing is ended. We're all still homestay. We're all still here. We're all still doing. You know, maybe if in a few weeks I get the restaurant open again, I'll reconsider. But right now I'm here with you every single morning, and it really helps me get up in the morning and feel purposeful. And it enriches my practice earlier in the morning to focus on you for a minute. And I'm so, you can feel my voice is filling up with little tears. I'm so grateful for you being there in the morning and practicing with me. Really, really grateful. Okay, everyone, much love. Have a wonderful day. Happy April Fool's Day. Go play a trick on somebody. Love you.